Generational wealth. Generational wealth. Generational wealth. What is generational wealth? We asked our communities, and this is what they had to say.
Generational wealth is having financial security and not having to worry about it for yourself, your immediate family, and future generations. It's a very elusive idea to me personally because it's not something in my immediate experience, and it's only something that I'm learning about a little bit more in theory and knowing or trying to know if that's like a real possibility for someone like me.
This campaign to create awareness to generational wealth is brought to you by the Department of Neighborhood's Generational Wealth Initiative, the Washington Housing Finance Commission, and Rainier Avenue Radio World. Create your generational wealth for you and the future of your families. Generational wealth. Generational wealth. Generational wealth. What is generational wealth? We asked our communities, and this is what they had to say.
Generational wealth to me is wealth that has been accumulated from their ancestors, but their ancestors are usually the ones that aren't the ones that built it, but built off of POC ancestors, in my own definition, from what I see. Because not many POC people have that type of wealth, as you can see in many people's neighborhoods and communities. It's usually a white person. You can see it in gentrification around us and even in schools nowadays. But generational wealth is basically hard work that isn't really your own hard work.
This campaign to create awareness to generational wealth is brought to you by the Department of Neighborhood's Generational Wealth Initiative, the Washington Housing Finance Commission, and Rainier Avenue Radio World. Generational wealth. Generational wealth. Generational wealth. What is generational wealth? We asked our communities, and this is what they had to say.
Generational wealth, it's this idea of like hard work that gets carried on that had been executed from ancestors, and so the generations down the line are a bit more set up already, like in a very favorable position financially to succeed. And it kind of makes me think of like privilege a lot, because when I think about stuff like gentrification or people with privilege or in a more privileged position in life,
Generational wealth. Generational wealth. Generational wealth. What is generational wealth? We asked our community.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening from the Quaker box here at the cross section of Martin Luther King Way and Rainier Avenue South. So you know what this is. This is Franklin High School. Juan Cotto with you. Spent a little evening talking basketball, telling the stories of our kids on our radio station, your radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio.world. And the Franklin Quakers with a 4-7 record, a little down here for Franklin. How the mighty have turned around this game. Nathan Hale at 10-0, and they have played like a 10-0 basketball team, up 14-9 here with 1 minute and 13 seconds to go in the first quarter. The Nathan Hale Raiders coming down, taking on the Quakers, and you just saw number 14 for Nathan Hale. That is Keon Rebels. He went to the basket, and he was hit by number 15 of Franklin. That's Ja'Kai Rogers, and that'll send him to the line. The game started off a little slow, a little choppy. Then Nathan Hale streaked out a couple of three-pointers, some strong defense, and a couple of turnovers. And they find themselves up 14, now 15-9, up by 6 points after making that free throw. Juan Cotto and our producer, the awesome Daniel Bellis, is here with us. While we were producing, while we get everything set up, there's a free throw that's out no good. Out of bounds, trying to get off of Franklin's player number 34, Declan. I'm sorry, I probably have the wrong name there. That's Antonio Washington, not that ball out of bounds. It'll be Nathan Hale basketball. But our man on Franklin, Keyshawn Lynch, made like Marshawn Lynch when beast mode and knocked over our table, so we had to reset everything up. As the rebound comes out of Franklin on the break, there he is right there. Then it's Lynch to the basket, and he gets bodied by number 11, and I think that's going to be a foul on Oscar Berry. Hit him with the hip. He hip-checked him, as they do in hockey 52 seconds to go in the first quarter. Nathan Hale, 10 wins and no losses. The Raiders having a really good season. Pulling everything together for the Raiders. And really excited to see that. Darby Haskins, my longtime friend, the athletic director. And their head coach is Margasa Basasa. And I think they said Margasa Basasa. And he's bringing in another person. The free throw was missed. And there was a little conjecture that's going to be 1-1 with the foul. That's going to be number 11, Oscar Berry, with another foul. So Oscar Berry comes on the floor, picks up 2 quick fouls, and Margasa puts him right on the bench to take a little rest. Here comes a nice drive down the lane by number 1, Amari Harris. Amari Harris takes it to the basket. That will count. The foul is on number 13 of Nathan Hale, Keon Rebels, and let's see if we can get a nice couple of points down here. Franklin might close this game. It's 15-11 after the first 2 free throws were made. Actually, the free throws were missed, but the penalty was made. Let's see if we can make it 3 does. Free throw by Amari Harris. So here comes Nathan Hale with the basketball. Good substitution there. 24 checks in for Franklin. That is Elijah Rideout. Nathan Hale with the basketball. That is number 5, Iman Hassan. Flips it over the court to number 3, Rio Valdez. Back to the song. Franklin in 2-3 zone. Hassan takes a long shot from the wing. It bounces up no good. Here comes Franklin with the rebound. And I think that Amari Harris is going to call for 1 shot. Nathan Hale in their red, white, and blue uniforms, blue pants, blue tops, with a little bit of red hula-lula on the shoulder. Up the dribble drives. Ball bounces off the foot. Harris. Nice little set shot by Lynch. No good. And that will be the end of it, the first quarter. So, Franklin fights to get this close. It is 15-12. The Raiders, the 10-0 undefeated Nathan Hale Raiders, up over the Franklin Quakers on your community radio, our community radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio App. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the Quaker Box. We are right, you're familiar with it. You know exactly where we are. We are on the corner of Rainier Avenue, where it intersects with Martin Luther King here in Seattle. And the Quakers, obviously, as many of you know who grew up here in Seattle, have a proud basketball history, certainly one of the all-time programs in the city of Seattle. There's a school up the street that wears purple and white, and they would probably dispute Franklin's greatness. And the names that list their walls, we have Ricky Nosey, James Hasty, Jesse Cheatham, Peyton Siva, the Louisville great, Shannon Smith, another fantastic basketball player, Bruce Jarvis, who played football at the University of Hawaii, Alvin Snow, Jason Terry, Ryan Phillips, Juan Santo, Fred Hutchison, the posters of all these great Franklin athletes, Terry Metcalf, Bill Wright, and one of the all-time greats, and of course, the Nathan Hale Raiders up in North Seattle. So this is sort of a civil war, if you will, the North versus the South here in Seattle. So ball is checked back into play. A couple of dribble moves by number 2, Kobe. I'll call him Kobe. He gets the ball back from the wing, and he turns. And some tight defense there by Amar Lang, and the ball goes off of Kobe and out of bounds. So that will be Nathan Hale basketball. 7:30 to go, second quarter. Just another day in paradise here. So many great games up in Franklin that we've called here on your community radio station. Our community radio station, radio.org. Here comes the basketball back after a turnover. Hits with the basketball, he throws it away. Tyson fouls up the floor. Dog attempt by Solomon Barnes. And it looks like he was cleared out of there by Lynch. Let's see who the foul is on. Foul will be on Lynch. So Barnes was going up for the dunk, and Lynch said, no, he went beast mode on that. 7:16 to go in the second quarter. 15-12. Nathan Hale up by 3. Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Oh, there's a nice crowd here tonight, parents and some supporters. A little quiet evening here in Seattle, Tuesday night. Big basketball game last night. You had the Garfield Bulldogs and the O'Day Irish in a packed house up at Garfield. They came away with that win on a controversial call at the end of the game, but Garfield did pick up the victory in the Battle of the Centennial School. So, big basketball game there. Of course, it's wintertime in Seattle, and basketball is king right now. There's probably a large contingent of O'Day folks traveling down to Portland tonight as the Orlando Magic, with the Rookie of the Year candidate, O'Day graduate, Paulo Banchero, as Kobe brings the ball up to the floor. That's Israel. That was Kobe Agua. He finally got the basketball over to Lynch and way up. Here comes Nathan Hale up the floor. But Paulo Banchero is playing tonight in Portland. I know a big O'Day contingent went down for that ball game. 6:43 to go, second quarter. 17-14 to score. Nathan Hale tried to work the ball on the baseline, knocked out of bounds, and it went off of Nathan Hale last. It'll be Franklin's basketball. Frank Jackson, the longtime basketball coach here at Franklin, and he is rotating people in and out of this lineup, getting people in and out. See if you can find some bit of chemistry that will help out here. Nathan Hale is starting to press. Number 12 checking into the ball game. That is Beyonce. I'm going to call him Beyonce. Amari Harris with the basketball. Hard screen set for him. He gets to the right baseline, puts up a 12-footer, in and out, no good. Here comes Nathan Hale back on the floor. It's number 5, Hassan. Gets over to number 2, Ishmael. And a travel down in the corner. And number 15, Solomon Barnes is shaking his head on that call. He didn't like that. Quakers up the floor. Working on this 1-2-2 zone press. And that's the thing about the press. Quick pass in, get back across, and boom. Interception by number 3, Rio Valdez, and that's a quick basket that puts Nathan Hale up by 5. So once again, with 5:55 to go in the second quarter, the steal by Valdez, it is Nathan Hale 19, Franklin 14 on your community radio station, our community radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio.world. The excitement of high school basketball, and obviously if you are a Seattleite, if you grew up here in Seattle, you know that this is time of the year as the teams start heading into the month of January. They really start to gel. 15 games into the season. Franklin a little bit off to a slower start than he normally would. Franklin 4-11 on the year. And to much to everybody's surprise, Nathan Hale at 10-0. There they go, start working that press again. 1-2-2 zone. You try to work it more in the middle of the floor, and they get it. They get inside the middle. Franklin breaks down the press. 2-3 zone with matchup principles by Nathan Hale as Harris holds on to the basketball. Flips it outside to Rogers. Flips it back over. There goes Harris again. Nice little dribble moves, but now he's stuck with it. It's at the 30 for Washington. Long jumper goes up the top of the backboard. That they got a little bit. Nathan Hale's press, which makes it effective, is that it runs time off the clock as Kobe checks back into the ball game. And then a sky jumper, and then that's what I think that's what Nathan Hale's been hoping for. Craig Jackson, the longtime basketball coach here of the Franklin Quakers. He is supported by Jeff Mende, Andrew Beers, and Harris Woods. Nathan Hale's basketball coaching staff is like a bunch of kids. Real young looking. Shot goes up for Nathan Hale in the corner. Here he goes again. That's that man again, number 2, Ismail Goyo. He's going to go from the top of the key. Out the rim, no good. And there's Lynch with the rebound. Lynch with his blue shoes. Flips the ball up to Kobe. Kobe from the corner. And it's nothing but net. Kobe Hongvale makes it 19-16. Looked like Kobe Bryant on that shot. You knew that reference was going to come out. Rio Valdez is running the offense. Franklin in I would say it's a 2-3 zone. Flips inside to number 15. And back out to number 3. That is Valdez. His shot is blocked. Down in the corner to Kobe. Kobe accelerates to the room. To the hoop. Gives it to Washington. It gets pushed out of there. Kobe comes out with the basketball. Flips him over to Lynch. Lynch down the baseline. Flips it across to Washington. Washington gives it to Harris. Harris kind of a scramble play. Gets the ball back. 17 seconds to go in the shot clock. And that ball is thrown away. Working to their offense. I think they focus a little hustle. The shot clock is not working right now. And they're trying to remedy that situation. So there they go. They got the shot clock working again. It was not moving on that last possession. But hopefully we'll see how this works out. It's working now. Hale with the basketball at a 19-16 lead. 4 minutes, halfway through the second quarter. Nice little give and go routine. Inamanu Wiggs Jr. He makes the score 21-16. And Nathan Hale can't get away by much more than 5 points. Franklin breaks the press. And what do we have here on travel? Washington had the ball over the sideline right in front of the Nathan Hale bench. Shuffled his feet a little bit. They're just going to go ahead and give it to Nathan Hale. 21-16 Hale. Hale moving the ball around. Gets it to the free throw line. That is Solomon Barnes with the ball. Look out to the corner. That is 3. They're flat, nice skip pass, as we say. And that's a nice long 3-pointer. Imran Hassan. Imran Hassan with the three, and that makes the score 24-16. Now it's Field. Running down the floor is Hale, and ready for 5 quick points there on the layup by Keon Reeves. Lynch makes a pass, goes in a long three-pointer. 26-19. And once again, the scoreboard is froze. The scoreboard is frozen, and now it's working in. It's a pass across the court. Inside, that's a nice catch there by Reeves. Looks out top to Ismail Coyo. Nice long jumper again by Hassan. This time it's no good. Long rebound. Kobe with the basketball. Does a couple of different moves. Couldn't get all the Nathan Hale defenders out of him. Tried to throw it across the court, but the ball is stolen by Barnes. Barnes takes it all the way down the floor, and he's called for the player control foul. Barnes charged into Lynch, and unfortunately that is going to be a turnover down at the bottom of the barrel. So Lynch stood his ground and gave Barnes nowhere to go, and Barnes ran into it. 2:09 to go into the second quarter. It is the Nathan Hale Raiders up 26-19. Another steal, however. Franklin having a tough time. They got us up in turnover. Ismael Guayo missed a long jumper from the lane. Here comes Adrian Keeve in the game. He's now running the offense. Got his little black leggings on. Making sure he's the shortest player on the floor. Couple of dribbles by number 4. That's Taylor Haywood. He turned the ball over. Gives the ball straight over to Kobe. Kobe up the floor with Lynch, supporting him in the backcourt. And they've got their friend Harris over to the right side. Kobe over to Lynch. Lynch looking for Jakai Rogers. Gets the ball took out of his hands. He's going to go ahead and back in. Nice looking shot. No good. Rebound number 24 for Franklin. Miss it. That is Elijah Rideout. Rideout just passing his, adding his stats. Missed the layup and got the rebound and took it back in. Long jumper by number 13. Nathan Hale. That is Keon Reeves. Rebels. Nice looking play by Lynch. And there's 4 quick points by the Franklin Quakers. And just like that, they're right back in this ballgame. What was once a 7-point lead is now cut to 3. Nice, nifty passing and great execution by the Franklin offense. And they are down by 3 with 51.2 seconds to go. On your community radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio.world. What we thought was going to be a timeout is not. Go ahead and check the ball in. Here comes Nathan Hale at the floor. 43 seconds to go in the second quarter. Hale out in the corner. There's that man again, number 2, Ishmael, trying to hit a jumper, but it's checked by Lynch. Craig Jackson just exhorting his players, trying to get them to play a little bit. He's trying to get them wider on the floor. I think this is looking for more floor space. Trying to get a movement. It's Lynch, top of the key. It's up the rim, no good. Rebounds on Hale. Hale, nice pass up court. Oh! That is Keon Rebels. If you had a chance to see that on the broadcast, he tried to go up and hit a big dunk. And I believe that was Lynch that said absolutely not. So he's going to go to the free throw line for 2 shots. 26-23. Hale as a shot from Mr. Rebels is short. 26-23, 14.1 seconds to go. This is going to be last possession time. Second free throw is good. Makes it 27-23 Hale. 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Flip across the court to Lynch over the upper right corner. Flip over to Kobe. Kobe with the long jumper. And it settles in! Kobe with the long jumper. And that should make the score 29-26, I think. Kobe Hongleve. What a shot that was. So, as the two teams go into their dressing rooms for the half, we saw a very, very exciting round of basketball as we normally do here in the Quaker box. And Franklin, they've got their sets on ending this 10-game opening season win streak for the Nathan Hale Raiders. You're listening to the Juan Cotto, and I'm being supported by none other than Daniel Bellis, Daniel B., Tony B., Rainier Avenue Radio World, the Franklin Quakers, the Nathan Hale Raiders on your community radio station, our community radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio World. 8 o'clock on the Pacific Standard Time. Beautiful day here in Seattle, nice, warm, and sunny. Second day of the Washington State Legislature. So much going on in the city, and basketball aplenty tonight, as you can probably guess. If you're wondering if I stopped talking, no, I was unplugged for just a fraction of a second. Let me see if we can get some of these scores for you. I believe number 9 Stadium, and he's got the rankings here. So we've got the rankings. I know that tonight up the street from here, approximately about 4 miles away, the O'Day Fighting Irish are taking on the Rainier Beach Vikings. They are renewing their legendary rivalry. That's always an amazing contest. I'm sure that'll be a great basketball game tonight. The Quakers and the Irish, I believe the Irish are ranked 7th in the state following their loss to Garfield the other night. Once again, an unbelievable basketball game up at the Bulldogs. And then a late penalty on the rebound on the floor. They called the penalty, took Garfield down to the other side of the gymnasium, and in front of about 2,500 people, 2 free throws go down, and Garfield wins the Battle of the Centennials. That was Friday night. So, and then, of course, your Seattle Seahawks here in the area. A season that was going to start out with a lot of doubt and turned into a season of promise. The trade of our all-pro superstar quarterback, Russell Wilson, to the Denver Broncos. And many people had picked that the Denver Broncos would be the best team in not only the AFC West, but they would go to the Super Bowl with that move. Unfortunately, the games are not played on paper. The games are played on the field, and Russell Wilson and the Broncos struggled all year. And like rising from the depths from wherever it happened, Geno Smith becomes an all-pro quarterback in Seattle. They win 9 games, and on the strength of the Detroit Lions beating the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field for the first time in like 1,000 years, the Seattle Seahawks are back in the playoffs, and it's so exciting. And people are really pumped up about the big game this weekend. Being in the playoffs means that the Seahawks have to play the San Francisco 49ers. Not the best assignment for them, but hey, go down to San Francisco, have a good time. We'll play a little football. Your community radio station, our community radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio World. And I think I just smacked the camera. I did it. I took the camera and just let it go. I touched my phone. At least I didn't hop over the table, though. I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to do it. As the camera gets set back up with me. Nathan Hale took an early lead in this ball game. They took a 5-point lead, and that is about as far as they've gotten away. And outside of 3 points, that is about as far as the Quakers can get to them. So even though you see that every time that Nathan Hale applied the press and they got away a little bit, suddenly Franklin would counter it, break down the press after a real good timeout by Coach Jackson. And they just could not get away by more than 5 points, these Nathan Hale Raiders. So I can definitely see why they are a top-ranked team and a 10-0 team. They are extremely disciplined. They don't throw the basketball away. Very few turnovers for Nathan Hale in this first half. And they tend to play within themselves. Franklin is a little bit of on-court sloppiness. Just a couple of turnovers there. But I know that Craig Jackson, who's a veteran coach, is probably addressing that right now. our community radio station, your community radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio.world. The Quaker Box, Seattle, Martin Luther King Way, Rainier Avenue. And we feel like home. If it feels like home, Daniel, we are at home. Broadcast a little basketball tonight.
And you have to think, Juan, that this being a 1-point game has to be a huge disappointment for these Nathan Hale Raiders. They right now they are ranked in the state, and this 10-0 record is also a product of being in a lower division, because much like football in Metro, where they have a top programs in the Mountain and the second tier programs in the Sound, basketball has adopted that this year. So the teams in the Sound are of the lower division. They have a lower chance of making districts and states. Obviously, they have to win in the tournament, but they're going to get a lower seed just from being in the Sound. No matter how good they do, they can go undefeated, and they'll still get like a ninth seed or something like that.
How do you feel about that, Dan? You think that's fair for the kids, or would you like to see it mixed up, or do you like giving some of the lower teams an opportunity to play?
That's a good question there, Juan. Basically, you got to think that it's definitely beneficial for these smaller programs for sure. Cleveland, Franklin, Chief Self, as you see the Sound standings right there. Ingram, Lincoln, they benefit from this for sure, because they can't hang with Garfield and O'Day and Eastside Catholic. It's not fair to them. It's not fair. But then Nathan Hale gets put into the category where they're having an outstanding season, and they don't have the opportunity to prove themselves against a Garfield or an O'Day or an Eastside Catholic or a Rainier Beach. So they have a wonderful record, but who have they played? And that they get to have that for their entire season all the way until the Metro playoffs.
Love coming over here to Franklin High School. I was a head football coach at Franklin in 2014. Wonderful relationship with the Franklin community. The Quakers, a proud high school here in the Mount Baker neighborhood of Seattle. Once again, right here on the corner of Rainier Avenue and Martin Luther King Way. And looking forward to seeing what this second half can offer. I want to see that man right there, number 1. And that for the Franklin Quakers is Amari Harris. He's drilling the shots at practice. I'd like to see him take a couple of those and hit them during the middle of the game. That'd be a good thing for them. Looking to see what Nathan Hale is going to do. They've been in the locker room the longest. Actually, they've been in the locker room the whole time as we boil down to 151. And I'm having a hard time with these clocks as they just stop. There we go. 153. I think there's a little bit of a glitch in the giddy-up of our clocks here. This is provided by Daytronic Systems, and if they're listening, you may need to come out here and check out your clocks as they're not working real well. But 128, 125. Maybe they're counting down every 5 seconds. 121, 120. But nevertheless, here comes the arbitrators. They're coming out to make sure that everything is good. Good to see the basketball refs out, and these three look in good shape. And we're moving on to the final minute of halftime. So here comes the Raiders. They will come out and put out a couple shots, and then we'll get back to business here for the second half. And Nathan Hale clinging on to that 1-point lead. Your community radio station, our community radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Daniel.
We got some Raider fans in the comments there. Josifias Tefe, let's go Raiders. Okay, supporting Nathan Hale. Franklin fans, feel free to jump in there in the comments as well. We'll try to recognize you as well.
I know there'll be some. I know them Franklin fans. They like to jump into it too. So there will be some jumping in. 16 minutes of basketball to go, and we'll see if Franklin can get this together. Here comes the Raiders, sporting that 10-0 record. Here comes the Quakers, 4-7, but it's a really good 4-7. We'll see what they got going on here. the Teddy. I'm sorry, I should say the Benjamin Franklin High School. When you look for it on the internet, you just can't put in Franklin High School. You have to say Benjamin Franklin High School, Seattle. Ball comes into play for Nathan Hale. Here comes my man, number 5, Amari Hassan. Dribbling the ball at the top of the key, closely guarded by Kobe. Flip outside to number 2, Guelo, and he goes right to the basket. So I think they're going to go ahead and try to attack the basket here. 28. And you like that, don't you? That's right. Save my equipment. Also, you show off my soccer dexterity. People should have seen that. I went ahead and caught the ball with my feet and handed it to the ref. No one will believe it, but I wish I should have got that on video. So here comes Franklin with the basketball. Over in the left wing is number 11. That man over there is Lynch. Lynch to Kobe. Kobe now on the left wing. They exchanged. Couple of dribbles. Nice little move into the paint. Throws up a 17-footer off the elbow. No good. Here comes the Raiders again. Raiders up the floor. That's Ishmael. Ishmael tried to flip it into number 11, Barry. Flipped the shot over the back, over the rim, and it was found by number 15, Barnes, Solomon Barnes to be exact, and he was fouled. He's going to the free throw line. 7 minutes and 9 seconds to go. I like this, Jim. Neither of the clocks are right. 7:09 on one, 7:16 on the other. We'll average it out. Barnes misses the first free throw. Barnes dribbles it once. And it's short. Rebound to Kobe. Kobe and Mari Harris are bringing the ball to the floor. Solve the 1-2-2-1 zone. Flip back over to Harris. Harris down the key. Throws up the jumper. No good. Here goes Nathan Hale back up the floor. That's Valdez. Valdez goes to the hoop. And it looks like Amari Harris wanted to stop him. And he actually did, but he unfortunately stopped him with the body. So we have a free throw coming up for number 3, Rio Valdez. First free throw, good. Second free throw. Money. 30-28. 30-28. Franklin bringing the ball up. Nice catch by Washington. Washington flips it down. A skip pass attempt gets stolen. Here comes the Raiders on the attack. Nice passing, but a little bit too much passing as they turn the ball over. That was number 15. That was Barnes. I think he wishes he had that ball back. Here comes Lynch with the long one. Check that. That was Harris with the long one. And I believe that makes the score 31-29 Franklin. So we have a 2-point basketball game. Nice pass inside to Barry. Got pushed around just a little bit. We'll see what they call. Ball's inside. Nice soft touch. Benjamin Wise got a nice soft touch. Ball goes down, 5:49 to go. Third quarter. It is the Raiders 33, Quakers 29. Dribble. Lynch with the basketball. Throws it over the head of Washington. Washington taps it to himself and brings it back. Long basket was taken by number 2. That's Kobe. Off the rim, no good. Here was Nathan Hale flying right back up the street. Nice looking pass. Rio Valdez to Oscar Berry. Or should I say vice versa, Oscar Berry to Rio Valdez. Nevertheless, it equals 2 points in any language. That's 35-29 Hale. Oh, the Euro step. Amari Harris with the Euro step. 35 should be 35-33 Hale. Nathan Hale being very deliberate. Rio Valdez with the basketball. Flips over to Ismael Guia. That is Solomon Barnes. And Barnes gets hit. That will put him on the line. No, after a quick chat, that won't put him on the line. That'll just go ahead and space the floor out. They go ahead and get a little bit of an inbounds play. There was a little bit of an inbounds play as the two were trying to get into it. That was Hassan that fell to the ground, and the referee said that he pushed off. He's calling the foul on Hassan, and they're giving Franklin the basketball. Referee explaining the situation. He can't, and the coach for Nathan Hale, Bahasa Margasa, he can't believe it. Bahasa Margasa. Flip across the court. Here come the Quakers. Stolen. The ball is stolen by number 3. Rio Valdez with a nice pass to Solomon Barnes. And Barnes is hammered. Barnes gets hammered, and that will take him to the line on your community radio station, our community radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio App. Where all the free throw is good. 4:19 to go in the third quarter. It is Nathan Hale 37, Garfield 31. Here comes Lynch. Lynch throws it, and the ball is tipped and goes out of bounds. Nice looking dribble penetration move. Just real quick. Ball goes off the hands, and it'll be Franklin's basketball. So good plays all the way around there. Nice little hands by Nathan Hale. Nice ingenuity by Franklin. On your community radio station, once again, Rainier Avenue Radio World. That was number 7 for Franklin. I know it was number 1. That was our man, Amari Harris. Got down low, turned the corner, tried to go up, and got knocked down. See if they'll call a shooting foul, and they do. 4:09 to go here. Actually, 4:04 to go here in the third quarter. It is the Nathan Hale Raiders 38, the Garfield Bulldogs 31. Immaculate care of the floor here at Franklin High School. It's absolutely beautiful. It's got that nice light oak, the green and white cue in the middle of the court. First free throw, bend your knees. It's up, and it is and out. Probably had a little bit more. Here's the second one. The Franklin Quaker cheerleaders getting everything going right behind us. Shot is good, so that'll make it 38-32. The Quakers over the Raiders. Working the basketball, gets to the corner. Off the rim, no good. Rebound number 15, that is Rogers. Rogers steals the rebound, and what do they call? What do they call? They're calling that good. I will say this about Jakyle Rogers. He must fight a lot at dinner and win a lot, because he sure did go down, get that basketball, and Rainier Avenue Radio World, our community radio station, your community radio station. Broadcasting from the Quaker Box Gymnasium in beautiful Mount Baker, Seattle. Referees having a conference. So it looks like a technical foul has been called. Looks like a technical foul has been called. Wait a minute. And they're going to go, Nathan Hale is going to have number 15, Solomon Barnes, shoot this free throw. Barnes looks, lifts, and underscores. Close ball game like this, you want to get all of these points to extend your lead. So he knows these are important. And it is good, the second free throw. 1 out of 2 from the visit to the charity stripe for the technical fouls. Now here comes Ismail Agoyo. Ismail comes in. Ismail is looking to see if he can do this. And another conference comes on. So we have a little chats here with 3:45 to go in the third quarter. Number of different conversations. So they're going to give Ismail Goyo 2 shots. Then I think he gets the ball back. Hence all the men being pulled off the floor. First shot is good. Makes the score 41-32 Hale. Second shot is good. (43-32) Hale. And now the Hale Raiders get the basketball back with 3:45 to go. Flip outside to number 3. That is Rio Valdez. Ball moving around and moving that Franklin zone defense. Valdez takes a step in to collapse some defenders. Long three-pointer from the corner, no good. Rebound is to number 12. Nice little job there by Imanu Wiggs Jr. Very, very patient, very, very good with his hustle. Franklin goes a skip pass across the floor to make the zone press work. Had to kind of go in there and see if they could get that rebound. They couldn't. Nice little play there by Amari Harris. Fortunately, he tipped the basketball right into the hands of the Nathan Hale dribbler, so he didn't get the extra credit for that play. Foul called. Hope everything's okay with the legendary Joyce Walker. Joyce down with a little something tonight, so hopefully we get a chance to. I'm making Daniel Bellis work. Daniel's looking at me like, oh my goodness, Juan, what are you doing? There we go. Put that up there to me. I'm going to stand up here. 56 seconds to go, a timeout on the floor. Craig Jackson talking to the official on your community radio station, our community radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio.world. So, once again, a beautiful crowd here tonight. And people are in a very, very entertaining basketball game. Two teams that, once again, are going through different phases in the season. As Daniel talked about, Nathan Hale riding a 10-game winning streak to start the season, coming out of that division where they have just a little bit lower, try to make it more equitable for the kids and give them a chance to play a little bit, because some of these teams in the Metro League are like going up against the NBA. And we saw that last Friday night. And then the Franklin Quakers, they are 4-7, and they're trying to get themselves together. And there's Craig Jackson, decked out in a pair of basketball shoes, and the team and a group of gentlemen who used to dress to the nines. I'll tell you, Craig Jackson had some nice suits on in the past. I don't know who was sponsoring that wardrobe, but they were looking good in prior games. So here come the Raiders, and here comes the Quakers out here at the Quaker box. Nathan Hale's number 15, Solomon Barnes. He's out there with a 13. That is Revels. And number 4 joined him, Talon Haywood. Got his man Ismail out there towards half court as the shot grazes off the rim. Washington with the rebound. And now here comes Amari Harris up the floor, closely guarded by Ismail. Throws the ball to his right, hands the ball to Kobe coming out of the corner, goes takes it to the top of the key. He's dribbling around and really, really tough penetrating defense by the Nathan Hale Raiders. That's Harris. Harris cross, he skip passes it. I'm going to call it that. That's a pass across the floor. The 5-second count was on Kobe, and you don't really see the 5-second count anymore as he drove to the corner, and then he got shoved down by number 14, and that was for Nathan Hale. It was actually number 13. I think they kind of gave him a little shove. That was Kemal Revels. Here comes Harris out of the corner. It's off the stanchion and no good. Rebound by a nice rebound by Imanu Wiggs Jr. He hands the ball off to Revels. Revels at the top of the key. That's Haywood. Haywood down low to Wiggs. Wiggs skip pass across the floor to Aguayo. Aguayo back up to the top. They're working the offense again. That is Wiggs with the basketball. He takes it. A nice jumper at the top of the key by number 4, Dalen Haywood. And he rattles that one home right at the shot clock expiration date. So at 1:49, 2 minutes to go here, roughly about 1:42, 1:41 on your community radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio.world. It is the Nathan Hale Raiders 47, the Franklin Quakers 32. And just right before our eyes, while I was talking and analyzing, the Nathan Hale Raiders jump out to a 15-point lead. And although they might play in a little bit lower division, they're showing everybody, hey, we can play it just a little bit. And they're causing fits for Franklin. Here's Harris with the basketball. This was right, a nice screen set up for him there. But he's pressured by 2 players at the top of the key. They move the basketball Washington over into the corner. And a nice little forearm jumper. Ja'Kai Wadgers shoots the ball, and he was like hanging his hand like he could really flip that wrist and got all the motion going. 1:18 to go here in the first quarter. It is the Raiders 37, Franklin 34. Nice pass. Just had a tough time. Wiggs, are you kidding me? Wiggs just could not get that basketball, and once he recovered it, went ahead and made a nice little play underneath the basket and laid it in. Good for him. 46 seconds to go. And they called the 8-second count. The 8-second count called on Franklin. Couldn't get the ball in the back court. And my man Craig Jackson Sayers probably going to get just a little bit lighter after that one. It's just tough to keep the iron in your system. After that one, wide open three-pointer by Goyo. It goes off the rim, chased down by Wiggs, and it goes out of bounds. It'll be Franklin basketball. 40 seconds to go, 40.5 seconds to go. Franklin down by 15. It is 49-34, the Raiders. The Nathan Hale Raiders. Now, so here's Harris with the basketball. Picked up, and they break the 1-2-2 zone. They do with quick passes. Gets the ball up, takes it down to the corner. Skips it over to Kobe. Kobe from the corner. He'll shoot that shot. Off the rim, no good. Ball bounces around, and Wiggs ends up with it somehow. He looks down. That is Solomon Barnes. Misses it once, tips it back in. Solomon Barnes gets Nathan Hale over the 50 mark, 51-34, up 17. 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Ball goes back and forth. Harris down the middle, flips one up, no good. Rebound is Wiggs. Wiggs gets chopped by Harris with 2.2 seconds to go in this third quarter. Referee looks across and asks for the basketball. And that's going to send Wiggs to the line. Your community radio station, our community radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Some of the Nathan Hale Raider fans, they have on, a couple of them have on red sweaters, and I believe that's Nathan Hale across the left breastplate of the sweater. It looks like a San Francisco 49ers jersey or sweater, and let me tell you something. I don't think people in this town should be wearing San Francisco 49ers gear. As the free throw, the one-on-one is missed. Long attempt from the other end of the floor, no good. So that will be 3 quarters of basketball, and was what was once a close game, 22 points in this quarter for the Nathan Hale Raiders, and they've jumped out to a 51-34 lead as we go into the fourth quarter. On your community radio station, our community radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio World. Juan Cotto and the great Daniel Bellis with us today. Daniel.
As that one football quote goes, the Raiders are who we thought they were. You know, they may have hung around for about 2.5 quarters, but yeah, they were who we thought they were.
They are who the old Dennis Green.
Yes, sir.
Because they are who we thought they were.
We do have a good report for you guys. A hot battle between O'Day and the Fighting Irish, right? And the Rainier Beach Vikings right now in the third quarter. The Irish actually lead by 5 points. Very close quarters right there. And this is really interesting for the standings because you can see there in the mountain, that's the top level of Metro. That is a battle for second place right now. Beach has definitely turned around their season after defeating Eastside Catholic on Friday. After going 1-3 in their tournament in Vegas, they have definitely turned the tide on the momentum. And if they could pull this one off O'Day, they would have gone from 4th to 2nd in about a week.
I don't know how they will schedule the tournament this year, but I will tell you this. I'm looking at that grid right there. 2 of those teams are going to be in the Final Four of the state championship, and maybe 3 of the 4. Unbelievable basketball you're seeing every night in the city of Seattle. If you like basketball, go get out and watch a game. And I am here tonight, and when Tony B asked me, hey, do you want to call a basketball game? You know something, Tony? I do. Marshawn Lynch just got a little slick with the dribble, and the ball went out of bounds. He's asking, I love being on the floor because you can hear a little bit of the talk. And he said, hey, try JV. Well, he's going to have to get that basketball back the next possession. 51-34 as we go into the fourth quarter. Little skip pass, little jumper, and there's that Wiggs. Wiggs knocks one home. The Nathan Hale Raiders. 53, the Franklin Quakers. 34. I love me some basketball. I'm trying to take my selfie so I can post myself calling the game. There goes Kobe. Kobe out to Lynch, off the rim, no good. Here comes Nathan Hale on the fast break. Oh, my goodness, he tried to dunk it, but no. Lynch said beast mode. Will not do.
All right.
And the ball goes out of bounds.
I got to ask, there is a Kobe and a Marshawn Lynch on this squad.
Kobe and a Lynch, yeah. You thought I was making these names up.
Oh, we need to call a reality show producer stat.
Isn't that something else? So we got us a Kobe and we got ourselves a Marshawn Lynch. In my Facebook post. 7:05 to go in the fourth quarter. Here comes Lynch. Let's see if he can do it. He just goes and casually lays the ball in. So that makes the score 53-36. 6:57 to go in the fourth period. Ball goes across the floor off of Franklin last. It will be Nathan Hale's basketball. Wiggs is being set up in front of the cheerleaders here down in the left corner of the floor. Nathan Hale going right to left. Franklin going left to right on your radio dial. For those that are listening on the radio, you got the broadcast with the computer. You can see that we are seeing a good group of nice athletes here. Number 13, he wanted to shoot that basketball. Euro step. That young man's name is Kayon Rebels with the Euro step lay-in, and that's a 53-36. Steal by Rebels, tips it to, let's see if he dunks it. He couldn't. He wanted to. That was Talon Haywood. Tried to get up, and I got to be honest with you, Talon, you got to make some layups. You're a little away from that dunk. Here comes Harris with the long one. It's no good. Lynch tried to throw it off of the Nathan Hale defender, but he stepped on the line before he went up in the air, and that means when he touched the ball, he was out of bounds. 6:09 to go in the fourth quarter. 57-36. Daniel and I were sitting here kind of adjusting our inventory, and it turned into a 21-point game for the Quakers. Long jumper by Hale, no good. That Wiggs, I tell you, he's doing a lot of dirty work down there. Picks up a loose one. That's almost like a freebie. And guess who's got the basketball again? I got it, brother. There you go. Hand that ball back to Lynch. Didn't think I could do that, did you? As I knocked the camera to the floor again. Hope you got that video on video. Ball came over to me. Daniel, I know I'm driving me crazy with that nonsense. All right, here we go. 5:51 to go. 59-36, the Raiders of Nathan Hale. Nice looking flip out to Lynch. Lynch, three-pointer, no good. Rebound, Wiggs. Kobe just took it from him. Kobe, and he just looked like he might have had a couple extra steps with it. Might have had a couple of Shackton a fool steps, and I don't think the Franklin Quaker fans liked it, but he did drag his foot just a little teeny tiny bit, and they will catch it for that every time. 5:30 to go. 59-36, the Raiders. Rebels to the basket. Keon Rebels went right to the hoop with it. So my dad told me if you get the basketball, you know what to do with it. Go right to the basket immediately, and that's what Rebels did. And he draws the foul. So good advice from my dad. And that's that old-time religion. It's good enough for me. 5:24 to go here as Rebels knocks down the first free throw. So how good is this Nathan Hale basketball team? That's what I'm wondering from Daniel Bellis. If they do, they certainly are taking advantage of being in that lower bracket. But let me tell you something. They can play a little teeny tiny bit. Second one is good. Puts them up by 24, 60-36. Nathan Hale over Franklin. The press is still on. Kobe looking for Harris. Harris with the basketball. Washington flashes through. Maybe he'll set a screen. Maybe he won't. He does. Sets a screen to his left. He cuts into it. Drives right down the key. Nice little bit of a Euro step of his own right. It was either a Euro step or just a big wide step, but got through, got to the basket, and I believe he was fouled by Rebels. So let's see if they can get a couple more points on the board, maybe break 40. First free throw, all the way into the basket, and then it comes out. It's one of those things of nature or one of those things that's so hard to explain, how a basketball can go so deep into the cylinder and then pop right back out. Here comes Harris. His next shot is up, and it's off the back of the rim. So Nathan Hale gets a rebound. There, go flying up the court is number 15, Solomon Barnes. Barnes with the basketball. Now Nathan Hale just kind of running through their offense. We've called his name a lot tonight, Ishmael Goyo. Gives it to Barnes. Barnes does a little bit of, what are they going to say? He was maybe clipped by Washington as he went through the key. He got clipped and he kind of stumbled. And now he's using his palms to dry off his basketball shoes. Don't tell me that Kobe Bryant didn't have influence on the game of basketball. Look at all these guys wearing the low-cut shoes tonight as the first basket goes down for Mr. Solomon Barnes. 62-36, 4:52 to go here on your community radio station, our community radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Second free throw. Lots of spin on that one. Hit the back of the rim and went down. Quakers. Harris took it, threw it across the court. And that will now be Nathan Hale basketball, 62-36. I love being down here on the floor, Daniel. This is fun. Come up, see the game real close. Solomon Barnes with the basketball. Waves it, drives in. Got fouled along the way on that journey. See where that comes in. Think they're going to call that foul on Washington. Actually, no, they called it on Kobe. Kobe fouled Solomon Barnes. 4:38 to go. First free throw is good. 64-36. Calling that a 24-point lead for the Raiders. And I know people are listening. You may be in your car driving across Utah somewhere, and I hope you're enjoying my voice as the second ball goes down. 65-36. And the Nathan Hale Raiders have really extended their lead. Missed layup down here by number 21 for Franklin. That was little Kevin Hinton, but he got the ball back, flips it to Kobe. Back up court, hands off to Lynch, and Lynch rumbles to the basket, and that'll make it 65-38. 4:20 to go. At least that's what they have on the clock for me. And we'll see how much Franklin can chop into this lead. The old Franklin High School clock. I was there. I used to run that basketball clock a couple times when I was the football coach here back in 2014. I ran that clock. And what a fun place to watch basketball. When Franklin's playing well, let me tell you something. This place is usually just packed. Down here for the Quakers. But when Franklin's got it going, man, the community and the history and the just the people that support the program, this place is usually pretty packed. So it's so weird being here when it's not. And a rare night, I actually could find a parking spot. It was like, geez. And when I saw the record at 4-7, that's an indicator. But I know that Craig Jackson, who's been here now so many years as the basketball, he was an assistant under Jason Kerr, so many state championship games those two coached together. As Hale brings the ball up the floor, I know that Craig Jackson will get this thing rocking and rolling again with this young team that he's got here at Franklin. 4:19 to go in the quarter. Actually, it's 4:19 to go in the game. Here comes a nice little Euro step move by Lynch, and they call the man right there, number 24 for Hale. His name is that Declan Dillip? Declan with the foul, and guess what? They're going to be able to cut this lead inside of 25. Here comes Marshawn. Did I say Marshawn? Here comes beast mode Keyshawn Lynch. It's up, and the rebound comes to Hinton. He tips it back out to beast mode. Beast mode was going to fire up a three. Pass it right back to Hinton. Hinton tried to get the ball to Kobe, and it got stolen by the Raiders. 3:47, a frustrating night for Franklin. Trying to get inside of 25 points, 65-40. Nice looking pass. That would be number 23, Amar Lang from Declan. Here is Lynch with the basketball. Nice couple of dribble moves. Top of the key jumper off the rim, off the backboard. No good. Nice pass down the floor. Hustling is the Raiders. And that's 23 again. And he's got his second basket. Amar Lang. 69-40. Long jumper. That was number 15, Ja'Kai Rogers, saying, hey, in an all-star game competition, I can fire him from way out here. And he did. That was about a 25-footer. And that makes the score 69-43 on your community radio station, our community radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Daniel, what do we have going on?
Just another update on that O'Day and Rainier Beach game. And it looks like O'Day is pulling away now. Now they're up by 10 over the Rainier Beach Vikings in the third quarter. 49-39 is what it's looking at right now. So O'Day in control of this one so far.
The O'Day Fighting Irish just 4 miles up the street, if it is even 4 miles. And it's probably about, on a bicycle, you can probably make it up there in about 12 minutes from here. Walk, it'll probably take you a little bit more than 45. And they play an exciting brand of basketball. And what a fantastic game last Friday night against the Garfield Bulldogs. Bulldogs right now are the class of the state of Washington, the number 1 ranked team, and playing outstanding basketball. And they have a pretty good basketball coach by the name of Brandon Roy, who I think a lot of us are familiar with around these parts. Nathan Hale inbounds at 3:05 to go. I'm going to entertain you for about
by the way, that name, Brandon Roy, Nathan Hale fans would be familiar with that. That is when they had 2 undefeated seasons and took 2 state championships with Brandon Roy as the coach. When he left,
what a time!
What happened to Nathan Hale?
That was the high watermark for Nathan Hale basketball. A guy named Michael Porter Jr. came to town, and boy, was he a pretty decent player. Oh, that was number 21 for Nathan Hale. He would like to be Michael Porter Jr., but got a little bit of work in the weight room to do. That was Justin Bonney, and he had the ball knocked off of him, and thought he could get it back, and when he touched it, the referee said, no, that's a double shot, and you are got to give that basketball up. So here comes Franklin. Franklin just went through their offense, and they give it right back, and there's Bonnie missing the layup. Rebound to Harris. Harris with the basketball up the floor. He fires a three-pointer at the top of the key. It's off the rim. No good. Rebound back to Hale. Hale back up the floor. Here come the Raiders. Nice behind-the-back pass. So hot to handle. Too hot to handle. Rebels pass was just a little too hot for Amar Lang, who's made a lot of layups here recently and was looking for his 6-point, and the ball went off of his hands and actually out into the foyer. That ball was a nice pass. Just kind of surprised him. Took him off guard. 2 minutes 13, 2 minutes 14. 2 minutes, the clock's running all sorts of directions here. 2:08, we're going to call it. Kobe, Lynch, Harris. Dribbles inside the key, spin move. Off the rim, no good. That was 15 with the rebound, and then Kobe comes in. Little Kobe, that was Ja'Kai Rogers that kept it alive, and Kobe came flying in and took it and laid it in. And here comes 24, Declan Delap to help out back there. And number 13, Keon Rebels is bringing up the basketball. Ball at the top of the key, wing jumper, off the rim, no good. Number 23 for Amar Lang, he's fighting for it. Couldn't convert. Here comes Hale at the floor. That's Lynch. Lynch to the right side of the top of the key, and it's no good. Rebound is to Declan. Declan gives it back to his man, Rebels. Rebels gives it to number 24, Declan Dellup. And I should say, excuse me, Justin Bonnie. And Bonnie is hammered on his route to the layup. And I think that may have been number 15, Ja'Kai Rogers, that got him. So with 1 minute and 17 seconds to go, he's going to go throw up a couple of free throws to see if they can keep the Quakers from being inside 25 points. It is 69-45. Nathan Hale. I know that those are listening are probably like just fired up to see if they can keep the score 25 points or more. The first free throw was no good by Bonnie. Ball comes back to him. Here comes the second one. He bends his knees, fires up, and it hits the front of the rim, goes in, and comes right back out. 114, 112, 110. The ball is tipped. Franklin had the basketball. It was tipped, and what a play there by number 23, Amir Alang. But ball goes out of bounds on the extra effort by Lang. It looks like he touched the sideline, so that's going to go to Franklin. 1:07 to go in the ball game. 69-45, the Raiders. Here comes the Raiders, and that was Harris inside the – I'm sorry, that was Lynch inside the Harris. He's looking for help. The help went around the other direction. Kobe trying to flash in the middle. The Quakers, Rogers with the basketball. He throws one up, but he's grabbed. Little shake foul. And that's going to send my man Harris to the line with 44 seconds to go. We are in the middle of basketball season on your community radio station. Our community radio station, Rainier Avenue Radio.world. First shot is good. Actually, the second shot is good. So it's now 69-47, 69-48. Here comes the Raiders up the floor. And a big reach foul by Helton, but it wasn't called. Finally, they did. They call a foul at 38 seconds. If I can plug my own show, Tuesday afternoons, if you love high school sports, the executive director of the Washington Interscholastic Activity Association, Nick Hoffman, and I, we have a conversation every Tuesday afternoon to discuss what's going on in sports with high schools. We talk about a lot of the administrative minutia. We talk about a lot of the rules and regulations. We talk a lot about how to coach kids, and we just talk a lot of fun and philosophy. The show is called WIAA Primetime, and that's with Mick Hoffman. Mick is one of the busiest people you're ever going to meet. He's cruising all over the state. He's got a big truck and just drives that truck all over the state and really works to make sure that the leagues are equitable for the kids so they have a great experience in basketball, football, and all of the other sports, including the esports now. The electronic sports, if you believe that. The esports leagues being started up in the WIAA. Here comes Ja'Kai Rogers to the free throw line for a free throw. That's good. So if you'd like to hear that show, Tuesdays at 3 p.m. we do it live. And, of course, that's streamed on all of the media outlets that Rainier Avenue Radio has. A lot of familiar faces here in the Quaker box tonight. I tell you, this is when you know you're getting up there in years, but I remember some great games when I was a freshman in high school, and remember the 1980 basketball game right around this time of year, the O'Day Irish right in this very building took on the Franklin Quakers. I remember riding the number 142 from Rainier View bus, and for those of us that were here that night, there was probably about 2,500 people here. That was one of the most electric environments I've ever seen, and the O'Day Irish was Steve Steppen and John Thomas and Brian Brooks, that dynamic backcourt of Brian Brooks and John DeFranco, one of the great backcourts, the shooter and the lockdown defender. And O'Day came out of there with a victory, and we went nuts that night. Never forget it. 69-49. So Franklin has cut into that lead. They are only down by 20. And I know Scott Van Pelt and his buddy are sitting there on that Bad Beat show, and they're probably watching these totals all the way down. So at 69-50, Nathan Hale with the basketball. Trying to dribble out the time, 30 seconds to go, inside. And that young kid right there, Justin Bonney, made another nice move to the basket. Good player. Just looks like I'm part of a team that's got some nice players down low, but Bonney's made some impressive moves tonight in his salmon shoes. That's not pink, that's salmon. 18 seconds to go. Here comes the Raiders one last time after the Franklin turnover. And what a move there. Oh, you got not and one. This isn't the and one league. This isn't and one, is it? Trying to joke with the referee. Turnover on number 13 for the Nathan Hale Raiders. Keon Revels, just little too turny on that turnover. Harris with the basketball at the top of the key, 5.3 seconds to go. Off the rim, no good. Declan with the rebound, and that's going to do it. That's going to do it from the Quaker box. The final score, Nathan Hale, 71. The Franklin Quakers, 50. 71-50, and the Nathan Hale Raiders move to 11-0. The Franklin Quakers fall to 4-8. In a very, very tough season for Coach Craig Jackson. But you know he will be back Friday night and with these kids ready to play the next game on their schedule.
Yeah, that's right. And you can see the updated standings there for the Sound with Nathan Hale grabbing another win. That puts them already like 3 games up in the Sound. So they're literally, you can already say they pretty much clinched the Sound for this year. There are more than 3 games, so mathematically not yet, but definitely the Raiders are the class of the second tier Sound this year. And Franklin, they're still sitting in 7th place, and that loss to Cleveland on Friday night by 3 points has to be looming there as well. And that's one reason why Cleveland was able to pass them in the standings. So there you have it. The Franklin Quakers in 7th place, 2-6 in the league, and now falling to 4-8 overall. In the mountain, with O'Day and Rainier Beach, it looks like O'Day is pulling away even more now. It's now 58-41. So it looks like O'Day will more than likely wrap that one up. And as you can see the standings real quick there, obviously Garfield the class there, but only if O'Day loses this game, they're still down by 1 game, although Garfield does have the tiebreaker because they did beat O'Day. So technically 1.5 a lead there. Beach will stay in 3rd place depending on how Eastside Catholic does against Roosevelt. You have to think Eastside Catholic will more than likely win that game against Roosevelt. However, we don't have a score from that game yet. So more than likely Beach will fall back to 4th after tonight. And West Seattle is playing Garfield. More than likely, we'll see a loss from there. We'll still see them in 5th place. And then you got Prep, Blanchette, and then Roosevelt. Roosevelt still seeking their first win. And like we were saying with the change on Mountain and Sound, you got a team like Roosevelt's going 0-7 in the league. But you have to think if they were playing Franklin or Cleveland or Ingram, they'd have some wins.
it's really, really interesting you say that, and you're just to discuss your point. If you look at the left side of that Rainier Beach, that O'Day, that Eastside Catholic, and that Garfield, that's not one of the best leagues in the state. That's one of the top. Those are four of the top teams in the country. I mean, that is and then you throw West Seattle in there, who's not bad, has some real athletic kids. Seattle Prep's always fighting with Granville Emerson. You're talking about some really good basketball, Daniel.
Oh yeah, Prep lost a couple of key players. This is one reason why they're down to 6th place in Metro this year. I believe they had someone who was the standout of last year's tournament for them last year, and he graduated. So I can't remember his name off top, but this is one reason why Prep is, even their football program this year as well, they were down as opposed to what they've been doing the past couple of years. And that COVID season where there was no state tournament, Prep just has to be kicking themselves because they had the best football program and they had the best basketball program in Metro that year.
You know, something they really did.
And they never got to prove it.
And that young man, Braden Smith.
Braden Smith was the name, yes.
The quarterback and also the guard. And that what a game they played against O'Day, and the last-minute steal to win the Metro League championship, or the mythical Metro League championship. For many people, that was the mythical Metro championship game. Of course, O'Day. Well, I'm not supposed to mention my alma mater, but we were missing a guy by the name of Paulo Banquero, who was playing some basketball for some program down in Arizona. So they got him out of here during that COVID season. But nevertheless, you are absolutely right. The Franklin Quakers were playing extremely good. I'm sorry, the Seattle Prep Panthers were playing extremely good basketball and football back then.
That's right. Okay, it looks like we got some updates on Twitter for some Metro scores. Let's see. Bishop Blanchette loses to the to Seattle Prep 63-44. So Prep does get a win there.
Congratulations, Granville. Lid line sports, baby.
Well, Granville's actually not part of Lid Line anymore.
Is that right?
No, it's now being run by Pep and
Pep.
Also, Lakeside loses their game against Chief Self. So give a loss in the column for Lakeside, and just trying to get this Twitter feed going on here. But that's what we got so far. Here we go. We got a final here from Ballard and Cleveland. Looks like Ballard takes that one over Cleveland. So another loss for the Cleveland Eagles, unfortunately, there. So, yep, that's what it looks like right now. Most of the scores have not been reported to us, but I'm sure tonight they will. So if you're interested on how your team did, go to metroleaguewa.org. So that's metroleaguewa.org, and then click boys basketball, and then you'll see how your team fared tonight.
No doubt about it. The Metro League, one of the top leagues in the country, and with some of the best basketball talent. And just last year produced 3 players in the NBA draft. I know the number 1 player, the number 17 player, and Beauchamp went in there as well. So you're talking about some great players coming out of this league. You see some really, really good talent every night. If you're sitting at home and watching Netflix, come out and watch a high school basketball game here in Seattle. Any of the gyms are nice, new, and modern, and you really have a good time watching the kids.
Oh, and this weekend, tonight's been pretty crazy, but we forgot to mention that we are definitely broadcasting the 40th annual Martin Luther King Seattle March and Rally on Monday. This Monday at 11 a.m. It'll be held at Garfield High School, as it always is, and we will broadcast that live for you. The whole march and rally, 40th annual Martin Luther King Jr. Seattle March and Rally. And then that'll be preceded, of course, by the annual youth event or young leaders event. They call them both things, but you basically young put, you'll have a bunch of some of our youngest kids basically expressing their opinions on topics like gun violence and mental health and all the important topics, and they'll give their opinions. So you can tune in for that. That's on Sunday and that'll be from 2 to 4 p.m. right here on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Lift every voice and sing this weekend. Martin Luther King's celebration, a celebration of freedom, a celebration of so many great visionary constitution that man had to look out for community, and always wonderful to celebrate that with community. If you want to get out and hear the speeches, if you want to hear out and actually get your steps in, I find marches and rallies a great way to get my steps in. I think the weekend that we did that with Rainier Avenue Radio, I think I got 37,000 steps in that weekend. So come and get a little exercise, if you will. We have some the Franklin Quaker team of.
I mean, at least this gym is not turning the power off on us,
Yeah.
but they do want their chairs.
Thank you, dear.
All right, so I think that was a little message to us that we need to get off the air.
Yeah,
So
they're like, hey, Rainier Avenue Radio. You don't have to go home, but you have to get the heck out of here. So,
well, with that, yeah.
Daniel, always a pleasure to work with you, and I'm gonna help you to get this stuff cleaned up. And for Daniel Bellis, our producer, and for Rainier Avenue Radio, I am Juan Cotto, and thank you for listening to us tell the story of our kids on our community radio station, your community radio station, RainierAvenueRadio.world.